Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This video is about how to homestead without actually owning a homestead or owning land or property, and maybe a little more accurately, preparing to homestead. Everything that I say here is pretty much going to be based on my own experience because it's plainly pretty much exactly what I did. So the first thing I started doing to prepare to homestead or homesteading before I owned property or a homestead was just collecting tools. I've always been one to try and work on my own vehicles and kind of take care of my own things. I've been big on, maintenance and things like that with my own vehicles basically since I left high school. So I have owned and acquired a variety of tools over the years, or at least I had up to the point of when I really officially decided this was something I wanted to do. I had already acquired a few tools around 2017 to 2018 when I had really decided like, hey, this is a dream. This is something I really want to do. My tool purchases really increased, my equipment purchases, all the things like that. I started getting into a lot of power tools. I basically sold off my Milwaukee tools because they were just very expensive for a much more budget brand, the Bauer brand from Harbor Freight. The idea was basically, I don't need these pro level tools anymore because I'm done plumbing. I'm going to college to get a degree and not have to do that kind of work anymore. So I don't really need the pro quality tools. I just need the ability to do a lot of things. I also started buying a lot of mechanics tools. I started buying some equipment. I ended up with a dump trailer, a tractor kind of by the end of it. Actually, I did own my 10-acre property in my hometown when I bought those things. I just started really acquiring as many tools as I really could get my hands on. Another example would be in late 2015. I picked up a 2004 Chevy Silverado. So this is 2015, it's an 11-year-old truck then. Now it's 2024, it's a 20-year-old truck. Oh my goodness, that was almost 10 years ago. Anyway, I've had that truck, I guess about the 8 years because it was really late. It was like November, December 2018. So, or not 2018, 2015. So we're at about 8 years with it. It's been a fantastic truck. I still have it. It's got like 179,000 miles, 180,000 miles probably by now. And it just keeps going. Good, decent little truck. And so that's one of the biggest tools that I use on a regular basis here for all the projects and all the things that I do. And that old truck pulls my dump trailer around, hauls a lot of firewood, hauls building materials, hauls tree trimmings, all kinds of different things, does all kinds of different work for me, and I absolutely enjoy having it around. It is probably the #1 tool you really need to go into a homestead having, I would have to think. All right, the next thing I'd suggest you do, and there's kind of a part A and a part B to this, but essentially it just comes down to hands-on learning. I lived in a storage unit facility and I managed it there with my wife. I didn't live in the storage units. I lived in a single wide trailer on the property. We managed it. I took one of the storage units closest to the house and made it my shop. I didn't have a lot of things to do, but I really kept myself very busy. One of those things was with this YouTube channel, doing stuff there in the shop where I started it, 5-6 years ago. I learned so much in that little 10x20 storage unit. I did tons of welding projects, tons of little mechanic projects. I flipped a bunch of stuff. I made a lot of money in there by buying lawnmowers, fixing them, flipping them, selling them for a bunch more money, and taking that money, buying tools, saving it, whatever it was. Some of the lessons and skills I learned there in that shop and even outside in the dirt and things that I was doing have been really invaluable. #1, I've just saved so much money on mechanic repairs. Mechanics, they're charging you $100 to $150 an hour, especially if you're going to dealers, probably $150 an hour these days. That's just a lot of money when you could go do it yourself for free. Maybe it takes you extra time. Maybe it's harder. Maybe you have to buy an extra part because you messed something up. It's really never really cost me any extra money. It's just cost me some time. What else was I going to do with my time? Sit around watching TV? Because I didn't have all the other homestead projects to do and things. It's been, like I said, invaluable to learn those skills, the things I've been able to take care of. I've been able to make money off that stuff, like I said, fixing and flipping things, probably several $1,000s over a few years there. Was able to pick up other tools and equipment. Go buy yourself some junk, go to the junkyard, pick some things up, learn how to fix it, dig into them, figure out how things work. It's only going to really help you in the long run. Maybe you can fix and flip some stuff, make a little bit of money on the way. I think I've really hit on the mechanic stuff a lot, but not as much on the welding stuff. I bought a welder quite a few years ago, probably back in 2016-ish. Maybe it was 2017. And I started learning how to weld. Am I really a great welder? Would I really call myself a welder? I don't think so. I'm just good enough to just kind of take care of what I need. And a lot of the things that I do here on, our little property require welding. I've been able to, I was able to use welding to fix and flip some stuff. I was able to weld together out of, like I said, the scrap steel, a whole wood shed, a 6x10, plenty of space. It's a really neat little thing. So welding's another huge skill. Find a way to learn it. If you've got, if you live out in the suburbs and you've got a garage, go buy yourself a little 110 volt flux core welder and some scrap metal and start teaching yourself how to weld if you have plans to get out. It would only really help you. And this is kind of the part B to that. This is virtual learning. Essentially, go on YouTube, learn how to do things, watch mechanics, watch plumbers, watch, gardeners, homesteaders, construction workers, construction YouTube channels, contractors, things like that. Go out, watch those guys, see what they do. Learn things from them. They have so much that they'll offer you, so much that you can learn just simply by watching them, even if it's not how-to videos. I'm not saying go out and watch tons of how-to videos. If you just watch them, there's an endless amount of things that you can learn just from watching them do what they do. There's a lot of people out there you can learn how to take care of the animals you plan to have on your homestead. Learn how to build outbuildings and agricultural buildings, sheds, barns, things like that. Research suppliers for feed, the kind of feed you need for the animals you plan to have. How much land you're going to need to have for the animals you want to have. All kinds of things like that. Get all that figured out ahead of time. It's all part of planning and preparing to have a homestead. Now I'm on to the second to last one. This might be a little easier said than done, but Hoard Materials. If you can get your hands on free steel, free wood. I'm not a big pallet user myself, but pallets, railroad ties, barrels, IBC totes, whatever you can get your hands on that you could use on a homestead. If you think you could use it, find a way to store that material. I did have to move a bunch of that stuff myself. I had a whole bunch of pipe that I had to move here to my property. I actually moved it several times. I moved it, I think 3 different times. It is going to take some extra work. You are going to have to haul some extra junk around. It might be the thing that's maybe the least worth your time, but in my opinion, I'm glad I have it. It was worth hauling around the extra crap for the moves, and I'm glad I did it. So if you can find something that you think is going to be useful on the homestead, pick it up, try and take it home, store it up. A few places to look, go on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. People give stuff away on there sometimes. Sometimes they give it away real cheap. Sometimes they ask way too much for it. Bottom line, look for it there. Also, why not save seeds? You eat food every day from the grocery store. Save some of those seeds. Start storing those seeds up if you know that you're going to be getting into a position where you could use them soon. None of that would hurt. It's only going to help you. You'll probably be glad you did it. And lastly, I would just say financial preparation. I used to be a big Dave Ramsey guy. I used to think that, everything he said was just the gospel and was everything you needed to learn about. And I've kind of changed my opinion on that a little bit over time. Bottom line, while you're trying to work towards it, just save everything you can. Stay out of the dumb debt. Avoid the credit card debt. Avoid making dumb car purchases. Save yourself the money. Buy a 2-wheel drive truck while you can, before you get into the 4-wheel drive truck later. Whatever you want to do. However you can save some money. Don't buy the premium wheels. Whatever works for you. Just make it make sense. Make it a frugal, sensical, planned out purchase before you make them if you are going to go into debt for things. And on the saving everything you can thing, I'm just going to give you a real brief example. I'm not going to get too much into our finances, but I literally worked 4 jobs at one point in time, and my wife worked 3 jobs at one point in time. We were just literally scrimping and saving everything we could to buy our property and to get a well drilled on it, on that 10-acre property we had that we eventually sold for a nice profit. So bottom line, plan financially, think about the things you're doing before you do them, get an idea of how you're going to fund it, and try and avoid the dumb debt. Work extra hard to achieve it if it's something you really, really want. So anyway, let me know in the comments below if you think there's anything that I missed that I should add to this list, and just ways that you can homestead before you homestead, or prepare to do homesteading or be a homesteader. So let me know in the comments below, like I said, if you think there's anything like that I missed or we should add to the list. I'd be interested to know. Leave a like while you're down there, and if you're not a subscriber, make sure you hit subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.